isn't part of the norm. It isn't part of the norm. And that's one of the things that I love about watch shows. If you follow this channel, then you might think that the watch that we're looking at today isn't part of the norm. It isn't part of the norm. And that's one of the things that I love about watch shows, watch events, is that you get to explore things that just aren't on your radar. And this watch completely took me by surprise. I fell in love with it, not quite.
Okay, first off, love Adrian Barker, really cool dude. His reviews are spot on, and right now he's going to be talking about Cartier watches, and we're just going to react to it. So let's dive on in. My name's Daniel, and let's get started.
Quite at first sight, but at first wristwear. This video isn't sponsored by Cartier. However, Cartier, if you want to sort me out, then feel free. The sort of watch that you'd see on this channel and the watch that I typically wear, this is an Explorer 2 on our Bark & Jack NATO strap. And this strap is what you'd find over at barkandjack.com. This is our 70-30 strap. Absolutely stunning, mega soft, mega strong. barkandjack.com. Go check them out. However, today we are talking about the Cartier Panthère. The relationship with Cartier and a panther started back in 1914 when Louis Cartier commissioned a drawing by artist Georges Barbier. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, I have no idea. This was to be used as a piece of marketing for their first watch that featured a panther pattern as part of the case. Throughout the following decades, Cartier's had a relationship or used the panther as inspiration for pieces of jewelry and further watches, but it wasn't until 1983 when the Panthère watch was actually created, and the name is actually connected to the bracelet. Cartier said that the ultra-flexible structure of the bracelet is connected to the flexible movement of the panther itself.
Now, one thing I do want to mention with Cartier is that a lot of people in the watch community, they refer to Cartier when it comes to their designs. Yes, they do have very solid mechanical movements when applicable, but their designs are unparalleled. And they also talk about the history a lot. Cartier has a very unique, nostalgic, and almost like mysteriously magical history.
Product offering, the bracelet plays a major part of the watch itself, allowing it to be, of course, a watch, but also double as a piece of jewelry. Since the launch of the Panthère, there's been various variations of it, be it different metals, different dial colors, different decorations around the bezel, and that is still present in the current range of Panthère. However, the ones that we're looking at are the medium, perhaps more pedestrian-looking versions of the Panthère.
Now, Cartier, take a look at that right there. Could very well be presented as a masculine watch. Now, Cartier makes a lot of feminine watches, just saying. That being said, they do have some masculine watches. Some of their watches are very rich, debonair, chic in design, I would say, and I think they're phenomenal. I think it's great too because women love Cartier, they recognize the brand right away, and with that, there is this brand recognition that Cartier has that other brands don't, and even phenomenal brands. And it's a different type of brand recognition, in my humble opinion. So I think that Cartier's really cool.
There are three sizes. You've got mini, small, and medium. So medium is actually the largest version, but this is what Cartier say is the unisex version, despite the vast majority of the marketing being based at females. I do prescribe to the idea, just wear what you want. The three versions that we have here are just full steel, two-tone, and then solid full gold. And the price difference is drastic between the three of them. The case is 29mm wide, it's 37mm lug to lug, and they are 6mm thick. The crown is set with this little blue gem, which is such a sexy little touch, and they have 30 meters of water resistance, which is pretty much nothing. However, I don't feel like this is the sort of watch that needs to have water resistance. You're not going to use this for sports in the slightest. Because the case is square, it's not your typical round shape, you pretty much do just need to ignore the dimension. If you like the style of this, you have to try it on to see what it feels like, because square watches do just wear larger than round watches, especially with how integrated the bracelet is with the design of the watch. It then further wears larger as well. Now, when it comes to the movement, there really isn't much information about the movement on this thing. Everyone just says it's quartz, it's just a quartz movement. But what I think the movement is a Cartier 687, which is actually made by Piaget, but then finished by Cartier, and it's got these beautiful Genevan stripes on it. It has 7 jewels, and that's pretty much all the stats.
So to name a few celebrities too that have like worn this watch before, we're talking Madonna, Pierce Brosnan, and Tina Turner. Okay, so like this watch has been worn by many celebrities. There's a couple even musicians that have worn it too. I think even a couple of singers. yeah, this watch has been around. Like, Cartier is a brand worn by Princess Diana, numerous royal family members of different royal families. This is a great watch.
That's I can find in this movement, and we will come back to it. I want to talk about the price first. So the stainless steel costs £4,950, the two-tone costs £9,050, and then the solid yellow gold costs £25,400. So when you come back to the idea around whether it's jewelry or a watch, I feel like this further.
Honestly, I like two-tone watches, but when it comes to this particular watch, the Panthère, I think that it looks good on solid steel or solid gold.
Sits in jewelry based on the movement that's inside it and the price difference between the steel, two-tone and gold. That difference is disproportionate to the cost of the metals themselves.
And one thing you'll notice is that is often the case, that the price of the gold inside of the watch is not accurate to the quantity of gold in the watch. However, it is a Veblen good.
Along with the fact they don't have an in-house movement, and Cartier is a legitimate watchmaker. They have their own movements, which are actually used by other brands like Vacheron. And so I feel like that means that this watch...
That looks so nice. Like even if you took like one of the classic Cartiers, right? Like a pre-owned Cartier that has like more of like a rose gold finish, or like maybe the yellow is like worn and slightly tarnished. Like that's something that could be rocked like with quite a wide variety of fits. I think that this is just a really beautiful watch.
Sits further in the jewelry category than watch category. That being said, I don't feel like that takes away from the product itself, because I feel like this sort of product, being an elegant watch, a dress watch, it's kind of more about the looks for me than anything. And I feel like that's what I've been drawn to. And the fact that there isn't the ticking hand going around the dial, it's pretty irrelevant that it's quartz.
You know, back in the past, people used to wear watches to dinner tables that did not have a seconds hand. Reason why? It's because they believed that watches with seconds hand were considered rude when having a meal with friends, because it was like you're looking at your watch only to be able to count the seconds down to when you're going to leave that dinner table. So the fact that it has a minute hand and an hour hand only makes it just that much more elegant and cool.
Maybe I'm just trying to justify it to myself. There is an element of luxury which I feel is often ignored in the watch world when we become obsessive about mechanical movements. I feel like there is an element of luxury when it comes to quartz. You can just take it off and wear it for the fancy occasion that you could do with this watch, and it's still ticking. The date is correct, the time is right, and that's one of the luxurious elements of quartz. And the fact that this isn't just an off-the-shelf ETA quartz movement, this is a Piaget movement, and it's been highly finished. So it does still have the element of luxury about it. What I love about...
You know, there's something about all gold watches. Like, there's just something about it to where it just like scratches the itch.
About the look of this watch, and I think what drew me into it is how elegant and dainty it's a pretty watch, and I typically go for rugged watches, a Seamaster, a Submariner, the Explorer 2. That's you.
Okay, so Adrian Barker has like some of the best watch selections like that I've ever seen. I love every single one of his picks. That particular like Kermit quote unquote Rolex is one that I like for a bright green watch. All the other ones I would say I prefer even more. Rolex's like sub that he also is a fan of, and the Explorer, those are also great. So I agree, this is sick.
Usually my bag. And so there is a nice contrast, or an epic contrast, between my usual taste and this little thing here.
And yet he likes this one. See, way different style, way different appeal, but yeah, no, I mean, that's cool. I think this is really cool. I think that Adrian getting into the whole Cartier scene is pretty sick, and I think that's going to make a huge difference for his future videos and collabs, and I think it's also really good for the watch world and watch community too. Like they say, when it comes to like opening up shops, like you can have a McDonald's and a Burger King in the same area, it's going to bolster business for both. The fact that he's now talking about Cartier alongside Rolex's, Tudors, and more mechanically, I guess you could say, rugged watches, I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I also like the contrast between wearing this very elegant watch with jeans and t-shirt. And my favorite one is a solid gold, because I feel like it's just that, it's the furthest end of that contrast, that contradiction. Solid gold, very fancy, very pretty, very elegant, and then you team it up with jeans and a t-shirt, and you've just got these really two extremes of perhaps this styling world. I feel like this watch has been designed to be worn with a suit or perhaps with a dress, certainly for an elegant occasion, and I kind of like that punk feeling of toning it down. Or
Exactly. And I don't know if Adrian does this or not, but if you rock that with some high top shoes and a hype beast fit, that would be sick. But there again, I don't know if he does it or not, but maybe I could see Adrian with some solid high top shoes in the future. We'll see. We'll see. I bet a couple other watch heads do that as well too.
Or elevating what I normally wear. If you like the styling, but this is just too small, too dainty for you, then you could compare it to the Santos. They're very similar designs, there's very similar elements that are shared between the two. However, the Santos just is a beefier version of this watch. But I do feel like there's something sexy about the pure elegance of this Panthère. What do you guys think of the Cartier Panthère? Can't put a native strap on it, so that'd be a bit of a challenge. I just think it looks absolutely killer. Drop a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you like the style of this video.
Very good. I like Adrian Barker, very good stuff. Phenomenal watches. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan wore it. Really cool watch. That being said, guys, yeah, follow him, follow me too. I'm new to this whole watch world. I do like watches a lot, and I got the idea of doing this because of people like Adrian Barker. So please like and subscribe, and yeah, have a good day.